Welcome to Healthy Living. On today's episode, I'm going to share 3 different breakfast ideas for yourself and your entire family. Starting off with a really easy egg bake. This does not take very long. I already have everything cut up. So right here we've got some ground turkey. You could use ground chicken as well. So we'll just dump that in there. I have some broccoli cut up and some cheese grated. I choose to grate my own just because a lot of the grated stuff does have some starches and other things added. And we've got broccoli. Now, you don't have to use these exact items. You could do peppers, whatever vegetables you and your family love. And just throw that in with the ground turkey. You can add some spices if you like. We all have our preferences. I'm just using some parsley. And I also really love these Flavor God spices. This one is Garlic Lovers. Throw in a little bit of that. And 2 liters of egg whites. These ones are really well priced at wholesale here in Kenora, but you can buy them anywhere. Most grocery stores have them. They're usually in smaller containers, but these ones are a pretty good deal. I think I pay about $4.97 for the whole thing, whereas a smaller one will be maybe $1 less or the same price. And you just mix that up. And it's gonna go in this glass dish that I've already sprayed. There's some pretty neat little tools out there now where you can buy, it's an aerosol bottle but empty, and fill it with your own favorite oils rather than buying the pre-made stuff. So just mix that up, pour it in there. Sometimes I even put some slivered almonds on top just for a crunch. If I did that, I wouldn't be using cheese, and that would be my source of good fat. But because I'm using cheese in here, I'm choosing not to. Same thing with whole eggs. There's no need for whole eggs in here, as it's, look at that. And I do have a finished product for you guys as well, seeing how this is obviously going to go in the oven and cook. I usually cook it at 375 for about 45 minutes. But this is the finished product right here. So you could have that for breakfast, even for an easy on-the-go snack. You know, if you're just getting home after a long day of work and you got to get to sports or whatever the case may be. So there you have it. Pretty simple, easy egg bake, budget friendly, healthy for you and your family. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some different smoothie ideas. Welcome back to Healthy Living. We now have our egg bake in the oven. Great option. If you're on the go in the morning, it's ready. You can just grab it and go. Perfect. Great for a snack as well. Now, if you don't have anything already ready, there are other options. So let's do some smoothies. For me, I prefer protein powder and egg whites is how I make mine. Now I know that protein powder is not for everyone, and that's fine. There's other ways to get your protein in. The way that I make mine is with, there's some ice in here, and I add a cup of egg whites. Sometimes I do egg whites and water as well. Now you don't have to worry, you're not going to get sick. Egg whites are pasteurized. in the cartons, and bakers use them in some of their icings all the time. I actually didn't know that. There was a baker that had told me that. I love protein powders because they come in so many different flavors. My favorite is probably peanut butter cookie, or I have another peanut butter one here because I really do love peanut butter. But you can get banana, I've got strawberry cheesecake, even snickerdoodle. I even saw some that were like Fruit Loops flavored, Pop-Tarts, you name it. Kind of ends up tasting more so like ice cream. So 1 scoop of that. And then I blend that up, and it's, depending on how much ice you use, it can be a more runny texture or more ice cream-like for a treat. And if I was having this as a snack versus breakfast, I would probably just put less egg whites and less protein powder and just make it more into a snack size. Great for people who either don't like to have breakfast or are in a big rush. Now, for my kids, as well as other people, again, who that's not for them, could use some fruit. I have lots of options here I'd like to share with you. So our bananas, for example, I know a lot of people will use these for baking when they start to go bad. We cut them up and freeze them. So very easy to throw into a smoothie. I'm not really sure if you can actually buy frozen bananas other than the ones that come in the mixture of fruit. So again, super easy, inexpensive. I tend to buy the big bags of the frozen blueberries and other fruits. For something like this, I pay about $14.97 at wholesale. The shelf life is far better on frozen than fresh. I do still buy some fresh, but these are great. And even if you wanted to put them in some plain Greek yogurt, for example, you could just either leave them out for a little bit or put them in the microwave for a couple seconds. We do the same thing with strawberries. Initially, a lot of these I buy fresh, and if we don't use them up, instead of throwing them out and throwing my money in the garbage, I'll just freeze them. Now, for the picky eaters that have a hard time getting their vegetables in, these are 2 options that I absolutely love. Frozen kale and these frozen spinach balls. You can use these instead of ice. They're really small little nuggets. You don't even taste them. I mean, they'll change the color of your smoothie. Like I know this morning, my daughter and I, who's 3, who actually helped me make her smoothie, she put these in herself. She probably doesn't really know what they are, but it's super cute, getting them involved in their nutrition. You know, this morning, for example, I asked her, what kind of smoothie would you like? Berry. Oh, I want to put a banana in there. Like, she gets excited, and it's fun to watch. And then you can even sneak stuff in there. I mean, if they're not wanting it because of what you're putting in it, maybe blend it even in front of them, and you could throw, you know, something like that in. Great way to add some great vitamins. Again, if you don't want to use egg whites, hemp hearts, loaded with protein, such a small amount that you need for it as well. Great option, great on salads as well, on yogurts. A little bit of like an almond flavor, I find, a little nutty flavor. Chia seeds, also amazing to throw in there. I mean, you get to kind of choose what you're going to put in your smoothie based on what you like. Also, your own calorie intake, what your goals are. But chia seeds, again, great option. And these have like a gelatin effect. They're kind of cool. If you've never had chia pudding, you could actually take some of these and just mix it with whatever type of milk that your family uses, whether it be coconut, cashew, cow's milk, goat's milk. You can mix it with it in a mason jar and make a pretty neat pudding out of that. So here are two other options besides just using plain water. So this is unsweetened cashew milk, and we've got organic, unsweetened again, almond milk, which are both great options. The shelf life on these is amazing compared to cow's milk. Like no sugar, because they're unsweetened. Some of the other ones can be sweetened. I know you can get vanilla or chocolate, but you're going to get a lot of flavor from your fruit as well. I know, like when my daughter was little, she had a little bit of bowel issues, and this was one of the things that was recommended was the Flora Baby. So I used to throw that in her smoothies as well. Right? They don't know. And even for yourself, you know, if there's certain things that you really don't like, or you don't eat a lot of vegetables, or, you know, there's ways to incorporate them without having to eat them with a sad face. Other options that are great to put in your smoothie, some, if you don't have a nut allergy, natural peanut butter. The reason I say natural is if you compare the ingredients from natural peanut butter versus another non-natural source, some of them have everything from corn syrup to icing sugar, added oils. Same thing with actual nuts that you buy. A lot of times if they've been salted, they have some added oils that aren't necessary. So this is great. Some people even make their own. I have a girlfriend who actually shells all her own peanuts and puts them through the blender and makes her own peanut butter. I don't, but I really love Adam's. It's great. You can get it in crunchy, smooth, unsalted, as long as it's natural, right? For people who don't like the taste of peanut butter, there's also almond butter. That's another option, which again, nice natural source. There's lots of others. I know there's even the no nut butters now, which is great considering a lot of schools, I think actually probably all schools, maybe not, don't allow peanut butter anymore because of allergies. So I mean, if you can't have the regular, there's you can still have the flavor of it as well. So those are some great options, and then there's lots more. I mean, I could take pretty much any vegetable and puree it. Obviously, some are going to have more flavors than others, but really that choice is up to you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with my favorite protein pancake recipe. Welcome back. Almost done my smoothie. Delicious. This one was peanut butter cookie. Now, I'd like to share my favorite protein pancake recipe with you. Now, there's many other ways to make these. This is just the one that I use for myself and my children. So right here, I have just 2 cups of organic steel-cut oats. I just grinded them, that's it. Otherwise the texture would be way different. It would be quite thick and not as enjoyable. These I get at Costco. I think it's just over $10 for a bag. You can also get large flake oats. I believe these are around $6 at wholesale or some of the other stores. I wouldn't use quick oats or minute oats. as unfortunately those have been robbed of some of their nutrients through processing. And organic is a great option because those have not been sprayed with chemicals as well. Egg whites again. Yes, I do use these quite a bit. They're a great clean source of protein with such a little amount of calories. So for 100 grams, 46 calories, 10.6 grams of protein is pretty amazing. So we've got our 2 cups of oatmeal already grinded, 2 liters of egg whites, and these ones were cooking, and just 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Now again, if you don't want to use oatmeal, there's always some other options. I've got some coconut flour over here. I know there's some great recipes with those. This one I got on Amazon. It's a little bit more expensive than regular flour, but definitely healthier. You can also go with an almond flour. This one's from Costco as well, as gotta love Costco. Just a bigger bag, more bang for your buck. I've made some in the past using things like cottage cheese. What else? All sorts of different things you can also sneak in there, right? And if you wanted to add, say, blueberries or other fruit, you can, or you can use it as toppings as well. So once I mix all of that, it's going to make a lot of pancakes. Depending on your pan size, maybe anywhere from 15 to 20 or more. Now, this is just the finished product. So it's a pancake. Again, I store these in the fridge. They're easy to grab and go. For breakfast in the morning rather than having processed cereal or breads or going through a drive-through. Because I make so much in advance, I find it so much easier in the mornings, especially with the rush. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 17-year-old. Smoothie is a great option if I don't have any of these made again. For toppings, again, so many options. So I actually did find a jar of, well, this one is Smooth Light from Kraft. Just to give you guys the rundown as to the ingredients that we talked about earlier when talking about smoothies and why all natural is a better option. I know that at first it might take some getting used to. Maybe try a little bit of each on there so that you don't taste it as much if it's really an issue for you. And as time goes on, it gets easier. They say it takes, I think, 3 weeks to make or break a habit. So it's not impossible. Definitely a better option though. So in this one, we've got select roasted peanuts, corn maltodextrin, sugar, soybean oil, salt, hydrogenated vegetable oil, cottonseed and rapeseed oil, mono and diglycerides. Oh, and it contains peanuts. Imagine that. Whew. Now in this one, just roasted peanuts and less than 1% salt. No added sugar, no preservatives, no added shortening. This is why you need to read your labels. Again, you could use almond butter. If I look at the ingredients on here, dry roasted almonds may contain peanuts or other tree nuts. So if you do have an allergy, again, probably not a good option, but great idea for a topping. Pure maple syrup is another option. I do have 2 reduced sugar options here as well. Joseph's, which is gluten-free, all-natural maple flavor. And this one is Mrs. Butterworth's, no sugar added. Measure. That's another really great way to make sure that you're not overdoing it. Measuring cups and teaspoon, tablespoon. Watch your portion sizes, right? The back of the containers tell you how much a portion is, and we usually do this. I know I do too. Sometimes on some things, spices more so. Some of the things that aren't, you know. Another great option that you could do is fry up some strawberries or blueberries just in a pan. It'll make for a beautiful sauce as well. If you wanted to make them more into crepes, you could even make them a little thinner. You want them bigger, bigger pan, right? Like, so many options. I'm just sharing what I do for my family, and hopefully you can gain some insight from that. Maybe it will work for yours, maybe it won't, but that's why I like to give you other options. It's not just this way. There's lots of other ways, but hopefully it helps you to make some healthier choices in both yours and if you have children in their lives as well. Nutrition goes a long way as far as, you know, our energy levels and how we feel about ourselves and our own bodies. Not just weight loss, but just in general. With the amount of illnesses out there now, you know, and we only get one body, so let's try and take care of it the best we can, and nutrition is huge, as well as physical activity. You know, if you don't buy it, chances are you're not going to eat it, and your children will not have access to it at home. I know there's always birthday parties and all the other events of the year, but at home, try to make some better choices. You'll feel better. Trust me. Thank you for watching. See you next time.